And we're getting ready to go live. We're about a minute or two late. Sorry about that, folks. A little bit of last minute getting ready, and it does say we're live. And let me just go ahead and see if I can find the broadcast here. Make sure that we're okay. Okay, it looks like we are live, and it looks like the audio is decent. And so there you go. And I'm wearing this Madras shirt that I wore a few broadcasts back. Indian Madras fabric. It was made in the United States of America, which kind of dates it. It is an oldie but a goodie. And speaking of an oldie but a goodie, when I've had this a little over a year, look at that thing. Look how that thing's shining. Look at that. I just cleaned it up. Guess what I used? Guess what I used? I'm not going to tell you right now what I used to clean it up, but we'll talk about that. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that puppy is. So there you go. And sound is fine. Picture is fine. Okay, we got a good report from the chat. And speaking of things that are fine, Bitcoin's pumping back up. Bitcoin's at $11,925. And it's been all over the map here lately, folks. It's a roller coaster ride. You got to hold on. You got to hold on for dear life when you're riding the Bitcoin roller coaster. So some of you may have seen the review I put up for this watch, a Starking watch, and I put a review up on this thing. So it's like $53 on Amazon, right? It's got solid in links on the bracelet. It's an automatic watch. It actually runs. It does have pressure pins in the bracelet, which we'll talk about that. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. But you know, for $53, it's pretty solid. Feels decent on the wrist. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to give it to somebody, I guess. I don't know. It's not really worth mailing it to somebody, but anyway, they sent me another one. You got to give these folks an A for persistence. They sent me one, and it was a piece of junk. It was really bad, right? And I just emailed them back. I said, I just can't do it. I can't do a review on this thing. It's no damn good. And so so they sent me another one, and this one is a lot better. I mean, it's a lot higher quality. The other one, it really was bad. So they said, no, we're going to go back to the drawing board on this, and when we get something better, we'll send it to you. So they sent me this one. And I just couldn't not review it, right? I mean, they're that persistent, and it actually is much higher quality. At least the bracelet works and stuff. The other one, the bracelet didn't even work. No advance warning of your broadcast. I was depressed. Okay, I just scheduled this at 4:30 because I didn't know I was going to do it. I was hoping Steve was going to do one, but I don't think he's going to. So I figured I would do one. And I do have a couple of things to talk about. So... So I figured we'd go ahead and do it. So I'm glad some of you folks are in here. And so one of the things that I want to talk about, and by the way, why don't you all guess in the chat before I tell you what I used to clean this up. I just cleaned it up moments ago. See how stunning this puppy looks? Okay. Go ahead and put in the chat what you think I used to clean it up. And I'll give you a hint. It only took me about a minute to fully detail and clean this puppy up. And it was crusty. I mean, it was nasty. I mean, I wear this thing all the time, and I mean, I get like juice on it. I get like all kinds of things spilled on it and stuff, and it was pretty crusty. It's been a couple weeks since I cleaned it up. I mean, it didn't look terrible. It still looked okay, but it was, you could just tell it was pretty cankered. So I cleaned that puppy up. Let's see here. You got to do what you got to do. Looks okay for $50. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Hey, Blue Shirt Buddha, congratulations on getting your wrench back. Okay, from Archie. There you go. Baking soda or toothpaste. Our Wags has a guess. Toothbrush. Okay, toothbrush. And what else? You got that right. It was a toothbrush. And let me know what else I used. I did. I don't think so, but we'll see tonight. Well, there you go on the big Archie Luxury live stream coming up tonight. Lens cleaner from Walmart. Any comments on Trump's words on Bitcoin? Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's a good thing to talk about. Toothpaste. There you go. Toothpaste and a toothbrush. Yeah, I clean mine with a baby wipe. Okay, so here's the deal. Yeah, I just used a little bit of toothpaste on an old toothbrush. And what I do is I start on the inside. I scrub underneath, and then I scrub the whole underside of the bracelet. And then I do a light pass on the top of the bracelet on each side and a little light brush on the sides. And then I use my fingers to kind of rub it around and all and move it all around. And then I thoroughly rinse it. And I got to make sure that I get all the toothpaste out from the grooves behind and make sure I scrub that if necessary to get it, any extra out. But it comes out gorgeous. And I use this on my date 8, on my 18238. I use the same method. And everybody in the forum is like, oh my God, that'll scratch it. The toothpaste is abrasive and blah, blah, blah. Hey, look at it. Looks freaking gorgeous, man. It comes out great. So here's the deal. For me, if it works, it works. And the proof is in the freaking pudding, right? And then for these people that chastise this bracelet, this clasp, and the bracelet and all. Oh my gosh, Grand Seiko, they've got to improve their bracelets. Their bracelets are terrible. This bracelet is fantastic. It's super comfortable. The fit and finish at the top is fantastic. It's gorgeous with the shiny parts in the middle. Shiny parts in the middle, the little shiny piece. I think it's more attractive than a oyster bracelet. And it also it's kind of like a cross between an oyster bracelet and like a Jubilee or something. But the real key is it is super comfortable on wrist. And I'm going to talk to you about why it's so comfortable on wrist. Because some of these people are slow. They don't get it. They don't understand. By the way, it's a little bit hot in here. That's why I'm wearing the Madras. I'm sweating just a little bit. But I'm too cheap to turn the air conditioning down low. So there's how that works. So anyway... Here's another little trivia question for you guys, real quick, because you guys are sharp. Let's see. Any particular toothpaste brand? Also a soft toothbrush. Not that soft, R-Wags. It ain't that soft. And no, I'm using the toothpaste from Costco, I think. You just buy like 3 or 4 of them together. I don't think it really matters. I really don't. And I'm not suggesting that other people should do what I do. I'm just telling you, I've been doing it this way for years, and it works for me because I don't want to take a bunch of time to clean my watch. I want to do it real quick because, I got other things to do. And otherwise, if it was a project, I would just leave it go, and I just probably wouldn't end up doing it. Gentlemen, don't forget to like this live stream before you leave. Well, there you go, Blue Shirt Buddha. I use a soft toothbrush with 1 drop of Johnson's baby shampoo. There you go. Baby wipe, toothpick, okay. Okay, so here's the deal. I rinse my diver with tap water every morning after washing my face. There you go. New Steinhardt Ocean Moments. Yeah, I saw that. They sent an email to me. It looks pretty good. For that kind of price, it looks pretty good. And, that's the other thing. People were chastising them. Oh, the clasp is terrible and all. Everybody's like the clasp. If you don't have like a milled clasp, and a clasp that looks a lot like the one on a Rolex, right, then, oh my God, it's a terrible clasp, right? Here's the thing. We were using stamped clasps for years on Rolexes. And for the most part, they worked fine. Sometimes you had to adjust the folding portion so that the tension was right. They'd get a little bit out of kilter or something. You have to adjust it a little bit. But generally speaking, they were fine. And the ones that had the flip lock, like the sub, it was no problem. It never came undone. It worked fine. We wore them for freaking years, folks. And there are advantages to a lighter weight clasp. The clasp on the sub is so long. Have you noticed how long it is? I think it's I don't like the fact that it's so long. Okay? So it's not perfect either. There's trade-offs on all of these things, folks. But in real life and real use, this clasp is amazing. I am shocked. I mean, when I first got it, I'm like, I didn't like the clasp that much myself. But it is so functional. We've talked about is how easy it is to just lift this up and adjust it out. I'll do it right now. Just adjust it out just a hair, and then It's a one-way ratchet. You can kind of click it in one at a time and get it exactly where you want it, right? And then, of course, it has the 4 micro adjustments, so you can have it adjusted. Like right now in the summertime, I have it adjusted so that when it's all the way in, that's generally where I wear it. But if I get out there and it's real hot and humid and all, and I need to let it out a little bit, I'll let it out a little bit on a very short-term situation. But generally speaking, it's like it is now. And then in the wintertime, I'll just take this micro adjustment in 1 notch. Very, very convenient for a watch that you actually wear. Again, nothing that we talk about on this channel has anything to do with watches in the box. Watches in the box are a whole different animal than a watch on the wrist. Okay, and a watch in a macro shot on a website, in a Facebook group, right? That's a whole different thing. A watch in a macro shot on a Facebook page is a whole different thing from a watch on your wrist. Okay, so what we deal with on this channel is a watch on your wrist. So on your wrist, this thing's fantastic. Now, here's the other trivia question I wanted to ask you guys. What is the only Rolex bracelet, and I'll give you a hint, it's available on 2, maybe 3 models. I'm not sure about that, but I know it's available on 2 models. What is the only Rolex bracelet that does not have the problem of fixed screws in the bracelet causing wear? See, when you have a screw going through the center link that is fixed, that does not rotate, and that center link is rotating on that screw, that's where you get that bracelet stretch that Rolex bracelets are known for, right? That fixed screw, that link rubbing against that will cause wear, will cause it to stretch out over time, okay? What are the only bracelets that Rolex has solved that problem on? Let me know in the chat. Let's see who knows their stuff around here. Let's see. I support the Facebook forum post on the Grand Seiko bracelets on non-diver GS. Grand Seiko bracelets on non-diver GS. Well, I don't like the bracelets that don't have micro adjustments. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I wish they would do that. I mean, but it is what it is. They're trying to keep them trim. I understand what they're trying to do. And what that forces you to do is wear it a little bit looser than you normally would, because the last thing you want is a bracelet that's really tight on your wrist. At least I don't want that. So you tend to wear those a little looser. But if it's like a snowflake that's titanium and all, you can kind of get away with wearing it a little looser. You can kind of get away with that. But if that's what you're saying, I agree with you. I'm not a fan of the watches without micro adjustments. Now, when you have the micro adjustments and you have this extension, you got all the bases covered at that point, because you can extend it right on wrist without having to take it off. I don't like to take my watch off wrist when I'm out and about. I'm sorry. I don't like to take the watch off wrist when I'm out and about. So I like the fact that I can adjust this real quick and easy without taking it off wrist or even unlatching it and trying to fumble with it and so on. I don't want to go there. I just don't want to go there. Okay, so I was taking apart steel shelves. A bar fell and hit the bracelet of my 231. I used my nail to get some of the steel coating off. You can barely notice a tiny scuff. The bracelet is tough. Yeah, yeah, it's tough stuff. The clasp is all scratched up. Yeah, because the clasp is stainless steel. I don't know if you know that on the 231. The clasp, it's all stainless steel, so it's going to get scratched all to you know what. But that's hey, it's a heavy use watch. Did you see the Rolex GMT hand with paint quality control? Oh yeah. That's common though on Rolexes. When you get a macro shot that close, you're going to see those little things. I mean, it's a mass-produced watch. Carlos, are you wearing your Patek? That's a good question. Deep Sea Diver Rolex? No. Day-Date 40 is the one with the ceramic sleeves on the President. There you go. And they also have it on the new, I have confirmation from Rolex that they have it on the new 36s as well. And I think it might be on another watch, but I'm not sure about that, so I'm not going to say. But it's definitely on the Day-Date 40 and the 36 mil Day-Dates. And see, when you've got that ceramic sleeve, it's floating, okay? It's floating. It's not fixed. So that center link can rub, and it can kind of move with it, and it can kind of float, and that's going to really solve that problem. So it's ironic that the watch that is a heavy use, for heavy daily use watch, is a Date 840 or a Date 836. Those are the most durable Rolexes they make right now. That's pretty ironic, right? And I can attest from firsthand use that a Date 8 is a robust watch. It's a heavy-duty piece. These people that say it's like wearing butter on your wrist, they are full of it. They have no clue what they're talking about. Let's see. No, I'm wearing my Explorer. Carlos in the house is wearing his Explorer. Let's see here. Hey there. Okay. I'm wandering from hotel to hotel using different kind of transportation on different cities of the north of Spain. I prefer to go under the radar. Well, you're actually exploring. You're in the process of exploring if you're doing all that, so you should be wearing an Explorer. You're wearing the appropriate watch. The only issue is, where did you leave the other watch? If you left it in your hotel room, good luck with that. Well, I got to get some H2O. I'm gonna switch to the GMT Stunner, and I got to go get my H2O. I forgot it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I got to give another shout out. I just actually shaved with this brush, and this is the Wild West Brushworks. Wild West Brushworks shaving brush. And here's the deal. I was using a brush by, who is it that makes that brush? Oh, I can't remember. Well, let me go. I'll get it. What the heck? I might as well get it. Okay, so this is the one I had, Pure Badger, The Art of Shaving, okay? And it was about the same price, about 50 bucks on Amazon. Feels nice and all that. Sheds, every time I used it, it sheds. Puts little pieces of the brush right on the face. It just sheds, right? Well, I guess this is normal. I guess I just got to put up with this, right? Because I didn't know anything about double-edged shaving, right? So I went on one of the Facebook groups and commented about it and so on. I said, oh yeah, no, you don't want to use that Art of Shaving brush. You know, you can buy them in like department stores and stuff. They're no good, right? So they said, I said, well, what do I buy? And they told me about this guy in Arizona, Wild West Brushworks out of Arizona. It's got an Etsy page. And I went ahead and bought this one about the same price, about 50 bucks shipped. Hasn't shed one bit. I've used it for about over a week now. It hasn't shed one little piece of fur. What a difference. Maybe somebody can tell me in the chat what's going on here. Why can this guy make them so they don't shed, and then this one here sheds like nobody's business? Maybe you guys can fill me in. And by the way, I love my the double edge shaving. I much prefer that over I was using Harry's razors before. So I do like doing the double edge thing. Let's see here. That's a great watch for traveling. Absolutely. Explorer is a great watch, period. Other watches are in my parents' house in Madrid. Uh-oh, you better not tell people that, Carlos. That's right. There aren't that many people watching. Rolex prices going really silly now in the UK. 2006 Turnograph box and papers 5K. 2006 Turnograph box and papers 5K. That's not that bad if it's in good shape. Why is 5K a bad price? You think it should be less? I have an Explorer on as well, Blue Shirt Buddha. Oh my, with the ceramic sleeve on the Date 836, we all know what Chip's next watch purchase will be, especially after he makes a fortune on Bitcoin. Anyone who wants to buy the Mint GMT Stunner. Good points. Our Wags in the house. Yeah, anybody want to buy this one? Because I think a Date 8 might be in my future. Yeah, it might be. Well, hey, I've owned several of them over the years, so it wouldn't be a surprise to anybody, I don't think. But anyway, as we speak, we've got a red candle on Bitcoin. It's down to 11,850. So there you go. Somebody was talking about, somebody asked me about the Bitcoin and Donald Trump. I'll tell you what, it is amazing that the President of the United States mentioned Bitcoin. I mean, I never thought I'd live to see the day. I mean, just the fact that he mentioned it, obviously it was a negative posting, right? But it doesn't matter. The fact that he mentioned it is pretty freaking significant milestone. It only keeps getting more interesting. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Do you think they're starting to get nervous? You know, one of the first things they do, the power elite do when they start getting a little bit nervous, a little bit threatened, is they attack, right? They attack. First, they ignore for a long time, right? They ignore, and then they turn into attack mode. And then when that finally doesn't work, then they try to control. They'll try to move into the control mode, but then they'll figure out that there's no real way they can control Bitcoin. And they'll finally figure out that they're pretty much screwed. So that's how that all works. Bark and Jack just bought the no date sub. He's going to use the sub and Explorer as his daily wear and the GS Quartz as his weekend watch. See, that's the neat thing about the GS Quartz is it's just standing in the wings, ready to go at any time with spot on accuracy, because you don't have to worry about it. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a perfect grab and go watch when you need that functionality, or you need the absolute accuracy, or you need something a little more trim for dress, or whatever the reason be. You can just grab that watch and go, and you know it's always ready to go. New Datejust from AD 5100. 5100. Who bought a new Datejust from an AD for 5100? Are you talking about Oyster, or I guess it's an Oyster bracelet with the smooth bezel? That's a pretty good price. Is that confirmed, Andrew? I think that's a pretty good price. Okay, so let me see what else. What else we're going to talk. Okay, so we talked about Bitcoin, the president mentioning it. I think it's very positive for Bitcoin. I mean, obviously the price hasn't taken a dump since he made that comment. Price has been going up and down anyway, but it didn't seem to have any effect on it. Saw Congresswoman Maxine Waters talking Bitcoin. Somebody should tell her not to talk about the subject she knows nothing about. Well, yeah, but it takes these politicians a while to realize that they're clueless on a subject matter. I mean, they'll jump in and talk about anything, and yeah, they got to get bombarded, and then finally they'll realize, and they might learn a little bit about it. We'll see. Let us know in the chat, Mike, what she said about it. Yes, so the turnograph sounds expensive. Well, if some people like the turnograph, though, they're getting if it's a really nice example, which it sounds like it was, box and papers and everything. I mean, you probably can't be that picky anymore because I think they're going to start drying up because people have kind of discovered what the turnograph is. I think we've talked about it on this channel. We like them. Base price of the 126200, date just 36th oyster and smooth is 6,800 USD. Okay, and you're sure that it's sold? You're sure that it's sold for the money that you're talking about? 5,100? I mean, that sounds like a nice, healthy discount. If that's true, Andrew. Maxine doesn't know anything except how to pander to her followers. We all know that Bitcoin is a temporary financial asset used to make money off of. I think blockchain itself, implemented properly, would be the scary thing for banks. No, Marcus, you got it backwards. Blockchain for other purposes is a total scam. I mean, there's no reason for it. You might as well just use a spreadsheet, because all of these other so-called blockchains out there, they're all centralized. Most of them don't even really have a blockchain to start with, but you're not going to get anywhere near enough hash rate to be able to make them secure. Even if you tried to build a blockchain, you're just not going to be able to do it. The only solid use case for this technology is Bitcoin. And the only reason being is because it started 10 years ago and it flew under the radar, and it was able to get decentralized enough that it's very hard to attack it at this point. It's very hard to do a 51% attack on Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very difficult. And so it still survives, and it survived 10 years. Now, will it fail at some point? Will there be an attack that is successful at some point? Who knows? I mean, it's very possible. But it's almost totally impossible for somebody else to build a blockchain now and do anything of merit with it. I mean, it makes no sense at all. It's going to be centralized anyway. You might as well just have a spreadsheet somewhere and just keep track of things just the way they do it now. It's much more efficient. It's very inefficient to try to do something on a blockchain. Very expensive. To have all those servers, not servers, but have all the miners all around the world and use all that electricity for proof of work. I mean, it's extremely expensive. It would make there's no reason for a centralized entity to do that, to take on all that expense. So Marcus, you might want to research this a little bit. I've got a page on my website. I put a link in the description on the video to a lot of information about Bitcoin. So you might want to take a look at that, because blockchain for something other than Bitcoin is totally ridiculous. There's no reason for that. Love the turnograph, but 5K. Well, if it's in nice shape, let's see. She said it has to be regulated. All the use of politician talk. They're very scared. Well, yeah, I mean, they're gonna try to crack down on the exchanges, and there's going to be certain things that they're going to do, certain things they can do, but it's going to be interesting to see, because I think the genie's out of the bottle, and I think it's going to be tough for them to stop Bitcoin. We'll see. I think it's pretty funny to watch, though. How many watches would you take with you for a 7-day vacation? If you're talking about me, max I would take is 2, because that's all I have in my rotation right now. So, but I would probably take, depending on where I'm going, if it's this time of the year and I'm going somewhere hot, I would just wear this. If I'm going somewhere cool, if it's winter or something like that, then I would probably be forced to wear that one, because it's thin enough to go under shirt cuffs and stuff. And I would have it on the bracelet. So for me personally, it would depend on the time of the year as far as which watch I would take and the climate where I'm going. I'll put it that way. 5K in the UK, so over 6K US. Oh, okay. I am 100% sure that Bitcoin, as others, could be controlled by governments by different ways. I'm 100% sure that PCs and trades would be hacked. Not so sure how they're going to do that. Not so sure how they're going to do that. We shall see. So far, they've been unsuccessful. The hackers have never been able to successfully attack Bitcoin. They've attacked exchanges. Okay, that's a whole different thing. If you've got somebody else holding your Bitcoin for you and they've got the private keys and all, and they get hacked, somebody gets that Bitcoin, your Bitcoin's gone. Okay, but it's not gone because Bitcoin failed. It's gone because you had somebody else holding your Bitcoin and they failed. It's personal responsibility time. You got to keep control of your Bitcoin and you got to keep your private keys safe. Security, as far as your private keys, are on you. That's on you. But so far in 10 years, they've never been able to successfully hack the Bitcoin blockchain. So we'll see. And as far as governments, again, they can regulate exchanges. They can tell people they can't own it, just like they tried to tell people during Prohibition that they couldn't have alcohol. And we saw how that worked out. They've tried to ban it in India and China. There's a whole bunch of places they've tried to ban it unsuccessfully. So it's pretty difficult, and it is a worldwide thing. So even if one country manages to ban it doesn't mean it's banned everywhere else. So I think it's the genie's out of the bottle. And here's the other thing. There's some rich, influential people that have Bitcoin too. And so they'll come down on those senators and they'll say, hey, wait a minute here. And especially when some of their other buddies buy Bitcoin and own Bitcoin. And then when they get some of their own and they see how much money they're making on it and stuff, I mean, their tune might start changing a little bit. Funny how that works. Oh my God, sorry I'm here. Okay, there you go. I'll check out your page. However, you can use blockchain for auditing and software. Actually, a college of mine has made a proof of concept for that. Yeah, but there's no reason to do it. There's if you're talking about a decentralized blockchain that is hard to attack, you need a lot of hash rate. You need it all over the world. You need a lot of computers running using a lot of electricity. That's what makes it secure. Okay, and so who's going to do that? Who's going to pay all that money to do that? What would be their reasoning? The decentralized blockchain, nobody controls. That's the whole key to it. Nobody controls Bitcoin. There's no 800 number you can call and say, call for customer service on Bitcoin. There's nobody you can serve with arrest papers. There's no office you can go to and say, we want all your documents. It's decentralized. There's nobody in charge. There's no boss, right? So why would some company that's doing something, why would they give up control of that? Why would they create a decentralized blockchain and give up control and spend all that money to do that when they want control in the first place? It makes no sense. There's no reason for them to do it. Just set up a freaking database and put copies of it several places for security reasons or whatever, have redundancy or whatever, but you certainly don't need the expense of a freaking blockchain. People use the term blockchain. I don't know what the hell they think they're talking about, but the blockchain is designed to work in a certain way. It's got to have the reward for the miners. That's why the miners, every 10 minutes when they put a new block out, they get a reward in Bitcoin. They get money, right? They're paid. That's why they're burning all that electricity to do the mining. All right? There's an incentive. And you got to have that money incentive for them to do it. Otherwise, they'll shut down their server farms. They're going to, and the whole thing just collapses. So who's going to put up all the money for these private blockchains that you're talking about? This blockchain for a school or for some company or something. Who's going to put up all that money? And why in the hell would they do that? It makes no sense. Bitcoin puts up the money because that's how the Bitcoin are created, by the mining. That's the incentive. They get a Bitcoin. And if the value is going up like it is now, they're very much incentivized to keep the blockchain going and to keep everything going, keep everything secure so that they can get their reward. Gameplay, man. Game theory, right? Let's see here. Great channel, greetings from London. All right, there we go. Rolex Datejust with 30-35 movement, new 5,100. New Datejust with new movement, black dial, Jubilee bracelet, 5,300. Wow, those are fantastic prices. I'll tell you what, if somebody needs a heavy-duty, heavy-use, wear-everyday watch, that'd be time to make a move, I think. Which would be the best bang for your buck Rolex from the Datejust Explorer going down the line? Well, those prices that Andrew just quoted on a Datejust with a Jubilee bracelet, I mean, that'd be fantastic. I think you'd be doing good. And the Explorer obviously is nice. I like the Jubilee bracelet personally. I mean, that's a super versatile watch. You can wear that Datejust with a Jubilee anywhere. Now, I would like to get it with the white gold fluted bezel, if it were me. But I'd take one with a smooth bezel if the price was right. I wouldn't, shun that. A Cheat Town. Okay, personal responsibility. Sounds like Bitcoin wouldn't work for most Americans. It's not going to work for most people. It is going to be a wealth transfer. Again, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. That's where we are. I mean, that's just the fact of life. And so a lot of people are being left behind. A lot of people were left behind by the technology, the revolution in technology with the internet and everything. A lot of people didn't learn how to use it, didn't learn how to buy things online, they're old school, right? And they're going broke, okay? So you got to keep up with the times or you get left behind is the way it generally works. Let's see here. Now, there will be services that do that for you. There's already Coinbase, where people buy Bitcoin on Coinbase and then they just leave it on the exchange. And they've got insurance, Coinbase provides insurance and all in case they get hacked or whatever. So there will be services that people can use that will take custody of their Bitcoin and hold their Bitcoin for them. And they do have a customer service number you can call and so on and so forth, right? So there will be services to help people that don't want to have the responsibility of custody. But the downside to that is they don't have control of their Bitcoin. So if the government comes after them or something like that, the government could seize their Bitcoin that's sitting at Coinbase, and there's nothing they can do about it, right? So that's the downside to not having control of your own Bitcoin. Let's see here. Sorry, Bitcoin would be dead as soon as China, India, and Russia block unofficial coins. It is coming in too much uncontrolled, hidden, and drags money in Bitcoin. No. If China, India, and Russia tried to block Bitcoin or ban Bitcoin or whatever, first of all, it'd be virtually impossible for them to do that because they'd have to shut off the internet completely. So I don't think they're going to do that. But let's say they were somehow able to do it. There's a whole bunch of other countries out there. They're not the only game in town. And the other problem with any country that decides to ban Bitcoin is that will put them significantly behind in this new technology. And so other countries will have a competitive advantage. If they're using this new technology and this other country is not, they're a Luddite, they're going to be left behind. So it's a competitive thing here too. And there are countries out there right now that are embracing Bitcoin with open arms and embracing people that are working on in that technology and so forth. And there actually, Wyoming is very open to Bitcoin and has special laws giving people incentive to develop in it and so on and so forth. And that's right here in the U.S. So it's going to be a very competitive thing where if you don't embrace Bitcoin and get on the train, you're going to be left behind. And so that's the thing that I'm sure like the regulators in the U.S. and other people are struggling with is, hey, if we come down hard on this thing, it's going to hurt us economically because all the people are going to move to other countries and do their thing. They're not going to do their thing here. So so that's a real problem for them. Let's see here. Datejust 41, cheapest in Canada. Canadian is $84.50. Yeah, see, I wouldn't want the Datejust 41 anyway. I don't particularly like that watch. KWALES66 says, cheers, Craig. Well, cheers right back at you. The new Datejust with Jubilee bracelet comes with ceramic sleeves. Oh, cool. Cool, Andy. I had heard that actually a couple of models they were starting to put it in. I heard that they were putting it in some of the Yacht Masters. Can you confirm that also? But you're saying the new Datejust with the Jubilee comes with the ceramic sleeves. Is that including the steel, the all steel? See, we're getting some really valuable information here from members of the Wrench Gang, folks. Fellas, I gotta go. Blue Shirt Buddha is taking off. I'm gonna wrap up here fairly soon anyway because I got to eat something. I am hungry. Block unofficial bitcoins, not technology. That's what I mean. What do you mean by unofficial bitcoins? What do you mean by that? There's only one Bitcoin. Are you talking about altcoins? Things like Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold and Ethereum and Litecoin and all that crap. They should ban all that stuff. That's all crap. That's all scams and yeah, they should get rid of all the altcoins if that's what you're talking about. But Bitcoin, the number one, the real Bitcoin, the original that's been around 10 years, I don't know how they could possibly attack that. I don't think, again, for all the reasons I just mentioned, I don't think it would end well for any country that tried to get rid of Bitcoin. I think it'd be a bad move. Depends on what complications you want. Date, GMT, chronograph, date, moon phase, or anti-magnetic properties. There you go. Chat to you soon. Okay. Let's see. All unofficial. What do you mean by unofficial? I don't understand what you mean by that. Obviously, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's not official as far as any governments go, you mean? Like a fiat currency, like the U.S. dollar or something? That's the currency of the U.S.? I guess you could call that their official currency. Okay, that's fine. Well, Bitcoin is its own thing. Bitcoin's totally independent of all governments. It has nothing to do with any governments. It's worldwide, peer-to-peer, basically decentralized asset, store of value, if you will, is what it is. And it's not beholden to any government. That's what's so cool about it. Hi, CraigShipp. I have a daily SBGA 001 with scratches and a small ding on the crystal. Is there ways to restore her back to the original glory? SBGA 001. With scratches and small ding on the crystal. How'd you get the ding on the crystal? That would be a sapphire crystal. So no, you'd have to replace the crystal. As far as scratches, if you have fairly minor scratches on it, that's fine. That's normal wear and tear, and that's to be expected on a watch that you actually use. If it's got some big gouge, I don't know what you would do, because you can't. If you try to polish that out, you're going to polish off a lot of metal. Yeah, I would live with whatever damage is on it and just keep wearing it. It'll get a patina all around it, all around it. Like even if you get like a sharper gouge as you wear it, that'll kind of smooth out and all just from hitting it, wearing against things and all. So over time, it'll kind of everything will kind of like average out, and it should look pretty good. But yeah, be careful. Just try not to get big. I don't really generally get big dings on my watches, and I've clanked them against like a door handle and stuff, and but I've never gotten like a big gouge or anything on any of my watches in 40 years time, so I don't know. All right, I think we're going to wrap this puppy up here pretty soon. Any other questions, put them in the chat, and make sure you guys click on the bell so you get notifications. Don't know about other models, but the Jubilee bracelet is solid, not hollow, with ceramic sleeves. So you're saying including the all stainless steel version, not the steel and gold, but stainless steel. This is good information we're getting from Andrew. Very good information about the ceramic sleeves. I wonder if they're going to end up putting those in all of their bracelets. That'll be a big upgrade. That'll solve the problem of the fixed screws. Well, it'll solve one problem of the fixed screws. It'll solve the wear problem, but it won't necessarily solve the screw backing out. It'll help because if you've got that floating sleeve, see what causes the screws to back out sometimes is that rubbing against the center link and it slowly unscrewing the screw, right? So with the floating sleeve, that'll probably help with the backing out problem as well, I would guess. So that might solve both problems. What Seiko diver comes close to a GS? I would talk to Steve at Little Treasury. He carries the high-end Seikos that are a few steps down from a Grand Seiko. He carries the whole line of them, so I would talk to Steve at Little Treasury. There's some nice ones. I liked the SBDC 007, the Shogun. That was a fantastic watch. The only reason I got rid of mine, to tell you the truth, is it was running slow. If it was running fast, I probably would have kept it. But it was running slow, which that bugs the heck out of me when a watch runs slow. But that was the SBDC 007, the Shogun. But that movement in that watch is not known for being, super accurate. So I'm spoiled now by the spring drive. Thanks, Craig. Thanks for the informative show. We always learn something with a Craig Ship live stream. Enjoy your dinner. Well, there you go, R-Wags. Well, you guys contribute tremendously to this whole thing. Seiko Prospex LX is close to GS. There you go. There's a solution right there. And Steve would probably have that puppy in stock, would be my guess. All right, I'm going to refresh the chat, and then I'm going to get out of Dodge, and I'm going to eat something, and you guys enjoy what you're going to do. And do have a little bit of inside information, though, for those of you that are still hanging around. I've had a couple of fairly lengthy conversations with Audrey recently about her possibly starting to do some shows again and some live streams and us producing some videos. I've been in touch with her, all along, but as you may know, she pulled back from the internet because of all the trolls. And about a year ago or so, she did a couple of videos, but then she quit again. And so it's really been 3 or 4 years since we've done any significant videos. And but fingers crossed, I've been talking to her about it. And I said, we'll control the trolls, both on her channel and on my channel. We're already controlling them here. I said, we'll absolutely control them on your channel. And so she's thinking about doing some shows, and she's a lovely young lady. And I actually put up a draft of a logo. Let me see if I can, like a graphic that I did, pull it up here on my Flickr. I uploaded them to my Flickr. So that she could look at them. I've got 2 brands that apply to Audrey. The Hooping Live brand, hoopinglive.com, and then the Fit Beauty Live. And this one is an image that I I used like a cartoon, a program that kind of like turns it into like a cartoon type image or something. And then I put the hoopinglive.com on there and the fitbeautylive.com on there. And then let's see, I think I've got the picture. There's another one, and then that's the picture without the text on it, and then that's the original picture. And before it was processed as like a cartoon picture. But that's actually the first picture I took of Audrey in December 2012, I think. Yeah, December of 2012. That's when we met at Siesta Key Beach in Sarasota. So stay tuned. Maybe Audrey will be getting more active and creating some more content. Always lovely to work with Audrey Scherer. Thanks again. Okay, Tom. I am going to, let's see, the guy at the AD said they spent a lot of time making sure the bracelets held up with no stretch. Interesting. So they really tested the heck out of them, I guess. Well, anytime they're going to make a change like that, yeah, I think they're going to be very cautious. Measure 7 times and cut once. Make sure that it actually works. But it seems like it would. It seems like a very good solution. All right, folks. Remember, she's cute. Yeah, you meant cute. She is, Audrey, and she's also a super nice lady. All right, so I'm going to stop this. Make sure you subscribe and click on that notification so if Audrey does do a show, you won't miss it. All right, thanks again for watching, everybody.